Hey everybody, Garrett here with a report on Artistworks and the California Consumer Privacy Act violation. The California Consumer Privacy Act is California Civil Code 1798. It was voted on by the California voters to establish and fund a board under the Office of the Attorney General to uphold consumer digital rights, including the right to data portability. Data portability allows the user to get back his data. I post data to a site, I can get it back. That's very useful, so that we could port it to another site in case we don't like the terms of use, or we've been suspended, or the company is doing something that we don't like. We can get back our data for any reason at any time and then port it to another platform, or just take it off the platform, keep it for our own private use. In any case, it's a consumer empowerment law that, as we'll see, is not upheld. Now, the board under Jennifer Urban gets $10 million per year. CCPA board under Jennifer Urban gets $10 million a year. The board is called the California Privacy Protection Agency Board. California Privacy Protection Agency Board. They're headed by Jennifer Urban. Now, I've made a complaint about a company that violated the law. So the way it works is when you want your data back, you can write the company a letter or fill out a form, send them an email, and request your data back under the law. The company is required to comply with the law. If they do not comply with the law and furnish you your data, you file a claim with the Office of the Attorney General. That's here in California. And so if the California Office of the Attorney General receives the claim, they're required to investigate it. And so they did. So they investigated my claim. I filed a claim with Artistworks. Artistworks ignored. I filed a claim with the Office of the Attorney General. The Office of the Attorney General received it and then inquired with Artistworks. Artistworks then retaliated by deleting all of my content, writing back slanderous remarks and lies to the Office of the Attorney General, hiding behind their lawyer who works in Tennessee and doesn't seem to know the law at all. The Office of the Attorney General, in response to this, wrote a letter back to me and apparently did absolutely nothing to enforce the law. Now, the Office of the Attorney General is required to enforce the law, and the law says that the companies who violate the law are fined $2,500 for each violation, $7,500 for each intentional violation. But here's what happened when I filed a claim with the Office of the Attorney General. I first filed a claim with Artistworks and said I want my data back. They refused. They didn't answer. They didn't acknowledge. I filed a claim with the Office of the Attorney General stating that I'd filed the claim on the date that I'd filed the claim. And the Office of the Attorney General reached out to them and then responded to me after they had heard back from Artistworks. And the Office of the Attorney General, Chinelo Bivens, wrote to me, Dear Garrett Smith, Artistworks Inc. The Public Inquiry Unit of the Office of the Attorney General has recently notified you that your complaint had been forwarded to the above-named company. A copy of the reply is enclosed. We appreciate your contacting the Attorney General's office about this matter. We will retain your complaint in our files and may contact you again should it appear that further investigation would be in the public interest. Again, thank you for contacting the Office of the Attorney General regarding your consumer complaints. Chinelo Bivens, signed. Company response form, Artistworks Inc. Complaint ID number 943004. Name of consumer, Garrett Smith. Staff, Chinelo Bivens. Legal name of company, Artistworks LLC. Executive office address, CO Shrum Hicks & Associates, PC 407C, Main Street, Suite 206, Franklin, Tennessee 37064. Contact person, Barry Shrum Esquire, 615-338-5130. So, see attached. Response to complaint, see attached. I didn't get the attachment. Shrum Hicks and Associates writes to Artistworks, and they forward that to me. Public Inquiry Unit. That's the Office of the Attorney General. And they're generally extremely rude. Hang up on me. They just won't, when you call on the phone, they're just terrible. Dear Matthew, this firm represents Artistworks LLC. Artistworks, in the above referenced consumer complaint filed with your office in April. Artistworks is an online educational environment for musical instruction in which instructors provide video responses to video submissions by their students. There are forums in which students can interact. Everything is governed by Artistworks terms of service posted here. Legal terms of use, Artistworks. None of that matters. Where's my data? In January 2020, Artistworks terminated the membership of the complainant, Garrett Smith, for posting lyrics to a public forum on artistworks.com describing the statutory rape of a 12-year-old girl. See attached Exhibit A, in violation of the Artistworks terms of service. Okay. First of all, if that were true, that wouldn't matter. Second of all, it's not true. The forum is not public. It's a private forum. And the lyrics that I had posted were not about statutory rape of a 12-year-old girl. They were maybe a bit salacious. Whether they violated the terms of use. Now, the terms of use say that you're not supposed to post anything that's offensive, right? And the devil's in the details with that, right? Because what is offensive? If you take 5 people, they might agree that something is not offensive or is offensive. Increase that number to 1,000, and the number of people that find something offensive is going to increase. When you increase the population to worldwide, maybe everybody in the world, the likelihood that any one statement will be offensive to nobody at all is almost nil. So, as I said, the devil's in the details with offensive. So, now, do they have the right to delete my content? Yes, but they still have to give it back to me. Does their deletion of the content or the content being offensive to them justify them violating the law and refusing to give back to me my content? No, they still have to give it back to me. Okay. So let me finish this paragraph here. Disturbing and offensive to say the least. And Artistworks Customer Service Center received numerous customer complaints concerning Mr. Smith's post, see Exhibit B. In addition, Mr. Smith was generally belligerent with Artistworks staff and customer service staff and representatives. Well, I've never been there. I've never met them. So how could I possibly be belligerent? Doesn't make any sense. If I've only corresponded with them in email, was I acting belligerently in my room? See, the definition of belligerent is hostile and aggressive. Having an aggressive or fighting attitude. Engaged in war or hostilities. So, I communicated to Mr. Smith on January 15th, 2020 regarding the termination, in response to which he requested his data, in quotes, his quote, data from Artistworks. The CCPA complaint is an obvious retaliatory response to his termination. Doesn't matter. Whether or not it's retaliatory or not, doesn't matter. Doesn't mean we're going to assume that it was in retaliation. It was a bad faith request. Therefore, we don't have to comply with the law. Doesn't work that way. Your guess as to what my intentions may have been don't matter. The law is what it is. Comply with it. Artistworks has fully complied with the provisions of CCPA 1798.100 to 125. The aforementioned terms of service agreed to by all members advised Mr. Smith of the types of information collected by Artistworks. Irrelevant. Any credit card information provided by Mr. Smith, I don't care about any of that. I'm not asking for my credit card number back. Part of numerous single one-off transactions. Mr. Smith included the following data: name, address, email address, phone number, a few forum posts, and his video submissions to his professor. See additional attachments, Exhibits D and E. Artistworks has deleted all of the above information at Mr. Smith's January 2020 request, and therefore no longer has any stored personal information about Mr. Smith. That is an outright lie. I never requested my data be deleted. I asked them for my data. Notice that all of his exhibits that he's putting in here, where he's saying the data and Exhibit A, Exhibit B, in his previous post where he said the lyrics were under Exhibit A, the forum post was Exhibit B, and I've been belligerent with Artistworks staff, Exhibit C. I didn't get any of those Exhibit A, B, or C, but notice that when he says that I deleted all of the Artistworks deleted all of my personal information, there's no exhibit with that. Where's my request for asking them to delete my? There isn't one because it never happened. In addition, Mr. Smith was advised that since he is the one who solely created his account as well as the video submissions, he was in possession of all the personal information. Well, his account was still active. Well, my account wasn't active. They deleted it and they banned me. They wouldn't let me come back on. You see? So they banned me from coming back on. I requested my data. I couldn't get it, so I had to request it. They wouldn't give it to me. I filed a complaint. In response and retaliation, they deleted my content. They're the ones retaliating, and they're violating the law. I'm not. I never violated the law. As to non-public data requested from Artistworks, including specifically police correspondence or records thereof, even if disclosure of such information were addressed by CCPA, which it is not, Artistworks has never communicated with any governmental agency regarding Mr. Smith except for this one. That's dubious. I doubt that. Artistworks was concerned and confused by Mr. Smith's reference to police records here, as well as derogatory remarks about them online, as those actions made my client question the wisdom of his engaging directly with him. Doesn't matter. You're going to use that as an excuse. You banned me from your website. You ignored me, and now you're saying, well, Garrett Smith seems belligerent, so therefore we're not going to correspond with him. Now, you made the decision to ban me in the first place. That was your bad, not mine. You made the decision to ignore me when I requested my data. That's not something I did. That's your choice. As a final note, I would like to indicate my client's willingness to cooperate fully with the DOJ in this investigation. The DOJ? Wow. So there is a police investigation, isn't there? My client has taken down all Mr. Smith's information and intends to take any steps necessary to resolve the complaint. With the DOJ? Really? Please do not hesitate to call me in order to facilitate such cooperation, or should you wish clarification on anything contained in this letter. Thank you in advance. There's your letter. So that's the letter from Chinelo Bivens to me, indicating that Artistworks had responded. Now, if Artistworks had violated this law, deliberately deleting my posts, for each violation, and it says in the law here, 1798.155, for each violation, or $7,500 for each intentional violation, which shall be assessed and recovered in a civil action brought in the name of the people for the state of California by the Attorney General. Civil penalties provided for this section shall be exclusively assessed and recovered in a civil action brought in the name of the people of the state of California by the Attorney General. Did the Attorney General do that? No. So where is the accountability? Where is the transparency? This is the only transparency that we get. And when I call the Public Inquiry Unit, the office from which this letter originated, I get hung up on. I get disrespected. I wait on hold for a long time and get transferred and eventually hung up on, or disrespected verbally and hung up on. They're that ignorant. They don't care about enforcing the law. Mind you, California voters voted on this. It is the will of the people. California voters are paying for this $10 million annually to fund this law that we voted on, including me. I voted yes on it because I thought it was a good idea. Naively, giving more money to fund the government that doesn't have our best interest in mind and instead sticks up for itself and its cronies, and they only serve to protect the big corporate interests. In this case, they're sticking up for a big corporate interest of a school that we're trying to do online music education. It's a big money maker. This law only applies to companies that make $25 million annually or more. Artistworks is far above that. They far exceed that. So this little school that I'm trying to pick on and bully, I'm not the bully here. They are. They bullied me out of their school. They treated me like dog crap, bullied me out of their school, wouldn't give me back my content, blamed me for being belligerent when they refused to give me my content back, when they had initiated the whole hostilities from the get-go by banning me from their forum for song lyrics. Now, you might want to question the wisdom of that. Is that a good thing to do, to ask somebody? And the teacher asked me to write song lyrics, post them on the forum, and then some people complained about them, and apparently that was triggering enough to warrant raising the issue of banning me from the application. Now, I don't have those song lyrics anymore, but it wasn't about statutory rape. There was no sexual intercourse or anything mentioned in there. But whether or not it was offensive, maybe to some people it is offensive. That's not for me to say. Probably it would be offensive to some people. But can song lyrics be offensive, or do we have to write about like sunshine and puppy dogs and flowers? This gets really into the realm of artistic expression, and what does it even mean to express oneself? And can we even do that anymore? You can't write song lyrics anymore? Really? That's the level of censorship we're going to stoop to? Where's the Western ideal anymore? So this is what they've done. They want to exact social justice by deleting content. Now, do they have the legal right to ban me from their application? Yes, they do. It doesn't mean it's the right thing to do, and I don't respect it, and I can talk shit about it, and I will, because it's dumb, but they have the legal right to do so. What they do not have the legal right to do, but which they have gotten away with under a corrupt office of the Attorney General, is to violate California Civil Code 1798.100, and they got away with it under the board of the California Privacy Protection Board. This is Garrett Smith.